God, I don't want to start this video with laughing, honestly, but it's quite it's quite funny because these people just have their way of dragging black people out of their comfort zone. See, they have their way of making black people see reasons why every single thing that is going on, black people need to be involved. If black Americans are not there, the things is actually not going to work out. Why is it like that? Why is it like that? Because let it make sense to me that a nice, humble black American man will go ahead, film a content, put on his platform, but the only thing they can do is to drop this on his comment section. Now, why are they dropping this? They are dropping this so that a lot of black people will actually see, they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's true. That means we have to go out. Oh, that's true. That means we have to support. Oh, that's true. It's not adding up and it's not making sense. Can you just quit that? Because every single trick they have been using to drag black Americans outside has been proven abortive. And this is the only way they now feel like if they go to every single black American comment section, they are going to be dropping this. And then we have illustrators, we have tutors that are now tutoring us, letting us know what the economy is coming from white folks. Coming from the people that do not care, coming from the people that at the end of the day, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, I want you guys to honestly watch this video with me. I just have a few clips and let me know your honest truths in the comment section. For disclaimers, this is just for educational purposes. Credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches I have in my today's episode. Let's just go watch and I'll be back with commentaries.
Sorry, but you guys need to stop tokenizing Black American death to try to force us to do what you want. Because Keith Porter isn't the first or last black man to be wrongly killed by the state, and for us to talk about it, and for most people to be silent, except to use him to make us do what they want us to do. All of last year, there were several lynchings, black American bodies killed in the same way that our ancestors were killed, and they were all deemed suicides. Did you guys talk about it? Did you specifically talk about it? You didn't. Adriana Smith was dead. Her body still had a baby. They incubated that baby in her corpse without her consent or the consent of her family. Also, her family had to pay the medical bills for that. Also, the baby was born premature. And born is not the right word because they extracted the baby from the body of Adriana Smith, who is no longer alive at the time. You guys didn't talk about it. I can go tit for tat every single year. There are black people murdered by the state and no one cares except the black American community. So don't y'all are going to be affected by this too to us because we were always affected. You guys talk about this as if it hadn't been happening to us since we got onto this continent. It's been happening for over 400 years to us. And you're going to try to explain it to us as if we didn't know? The whole reason why people are tired is because we warned you guys. We went out and did entire campaigns telling you Project 2025 is not a joke. It is very much serious. We were told we were fear-mongering. We were told that it wasn't that big of a deal. We were told that we would deserve a Donald Trump presidency. And we were telling you guys, no, do this, otherwise something horrible is going to happen. And then the horrible thing happens and you're acting like we're supposed to be like, okay, guys, let's get up and fight. You guys couldn't even pick up the will to vote when that's all you had to do. And now you're trying to tell us to fight on your behalf. Dante liked this stupid comment, and he also liked this one too. Two non-black Americans agreeing with each other? Whoa, who'd have thought? First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Yeah, that's a very important message and very important poem, except the socialists in this instance would be black American and Native American peoples. We told you, and you guys chose not to listen because you were not black American. And we are supposed to be concerned for you when you didn't care when it was happening to us alone. But now it's happening to you too, and now it's a big deal. Now it's y'all are being affected too. We told you it was going to affect you. You did not care. And what's even worse, ICE existed for several years, and I've always been on abolish ICE. You guys didn't do anything to stop it. You guys didn't do anything to make sure that it would be abolished. Yet I'm supposed to care now that you're telling me to care, not when I've been saying to care for several decades. The thing that really gets me too is you guys act like there aren't black Americans out in the streets. And you guys don't even do this for the Latino community, for the Hispanic community, for the different Asian communities, for the white community. But you guys keep making content and making commentary about black Americans. And if we want to talk about numbers, there are more Mexican Americans in America than there are black Americans by multiple millions. It is really frustrating because I just watched a video of a Latin man with a thick accent working for ICE arresting a Latin man with a thick accent, literally only because he had a thick accent. And before you guys even try to say, oh, well, you're not out there, I am. Actually, one of the points of contention that I have with some of my mutuals and some of the people who follow me is that I do go out. I put myself in harm's way for other people who aren't black American. And you know what? I'm not the only black American that does that. You're not a better person.
The American people are going to just shut the fuck up and bend the knee, or stand the fuck up and pull the card. There can't be any in between. And that's not because there just shouldn't be or couldn't be. It's because they won't allow for there to be any other option. That was my bottom line up front, because this is TikTok, and I know that most people who come across my videos don't see past 15 seconds before scrolling. But I will say this, for those of you who are hanging in there, I noticed that people like to be the first ones to react to something, right? And I don't ever want to do that, really. Mostly because my first reaction and first response and my first thoughts about events like what happened to this woman in Minneapolis are things I cannot express publicly, to be honest. So I don't express them publicly. I wait, and I gotta calm myself down and put myself in a better mindset so that I can present in a more constructive way for y'all. With that being said, I have been scrolling throughout most of the day trying to get more information about what happened to this young woman in Minneapolis, in addition to being exposed to a bunch of other fucking crazy things that I'll talk about at the end of this video for those that care enough to know what else has been going on in this country. In the midst of all that doom scrolling, I came across Minneapolis's mayor saying to ICE that they needed to get the fuck out of Minneapolis. And my immediate thought was, that's interesting. Because you have a governor who is a bitch. Couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight, you know? Motherfucker just threw in the towel of his own volition over a conspiracy theory about daycares that have been proven to not be true. You know what I'm saying? He's a bitch. He's weak, you know? And that's frustrating because I know that at some point, somebody's governor is gonna have to either, like, in order for this shit to be taken care of, someone's governor is gonna have to use their National Guard against ICE. Either you're gonna bend the knee or you're gonna pull the card. And I'm noticing that we are constantly begging, like the citizenry is constantly begging for someone to fight back. Someone to fight this fucking back. You know what I'm saying? And none of us are doing it. Like the citizenry, too scared, too misinformed, too disenchanted, too apathetic to do it for ourselves. And our politicians are too bought and paid off for to do it. But like we continuously beg these motherfuckers to fight back, to protect us, to save us. And that would literally, especially when it comes to ICE, it would literally require someone's governor to say, this is not going to stand anymore. ICE, you are no longer welcome here. My National Guard is going to remove you from this state. And if you got a problem with it, then we just going to have to see about that when we get to that bridge. That's what would have to happen in order to handle ICE. somebody's governor would have to be like, I'm not doing this anymore, and I'm going to use my power as a governor and the standing army that I am in charge of and make it stop. You know, you would have to make it stop, and you would need the National Guard to do that. And that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? There's no Democrat or Republican governor with the balls to even do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody that G'd up for real. You know, so here we are, stuck in another cycle of just like begging and pleading, being shocked, being terrified about the horrific nature of living under fascism, which, to be honest, like low-key, this is not even the worst of it. We have this government, the country, the United States, has put in worse despots elsewhere who have done worse things to their citizenry. You know, just to keep that in mind. But like, fuck, we just still be begging. Please, 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 you know, please, mommy, save us from daddy. And when mommy can't save us from daddy because mommy's also a narcissist and doesn't care that daddy is whipping the shit out of us, we just start beating each other up like most siblings do in abusive families. Until another blow up happens, and then, you know, we beg mommy again, and she's too much of a narcissist to save us, so we beat each other up yet again. Like, that's the cycle at this point. And it's kind of just like, either we're gonna bend the knee and lick the boots, or we're gonna stand the fuck up and pull this fucking card. That's the only option. And it's not because there aren't other options. It's because that is the only option that this administration, that this government is willing to give us. And I'm really just finding out that Americans would much rather be pet than cattle. So, but yeah, if you lasted this long, other things that I have been privy to today is, one, how big pharma is skimming off the top even when it comes to rebates and robbing us blind of billions of dollars of, you know, cheap drugs, to the point where like some 23-year-old kid had to pick between his inhaler and Rent, and he picked Rent and died for it. So that's a thing. In Las Vegas, two random motherfuckers decided to break into a homeless encampment, hog-tie the homeless people, and rob them. No, they weren't homeless themselves. They were just psychotic assholes looking to torture the most vulnerable amongst us. You know, American things. You know, there's just so much happening. And there's so many things that I would like to talk to you guys about. So many things I would like to bring to y'all's attention, but it's kind of just difficult. It's difficult to do anything creative, anything productive, anything constructive, because like the things I want to do myself are things I can't speak of. I have to keep them up here. The things I want to encourage you guys to do are things I can't speak of. I have to keep them all up here. But there's not a day that I don't think about Luigi Mangione.
I want to describe for people what it is like in Minnesota right now for those who don't live here, for my friends, family, loved ones, but people who are just coming across this video. I am a suburban state senator. I live in Apple Valley. It is a suburb. I do not live in Minneapolis. This is not something that's just happening in Minneapolis. This federal paramilitary invasion and occupation is happening in communities across the state. So let's start here. ICE is not looking for specific people at specific addresses. They do not have like a sheet of paper that gives them a name and an address and like a judicial warrant to go and find that person. They just drive around looking for kidnappings of opportunity. And what I mean by that is they, like in communities like mine, they sit and idle their cars and wait for Black, brown, or Asian people to be out walking their dog, going into the gas station, taking out their trash, sitting with their kid at the bus stop, and they will swarm that person, kidnap them, and take them away. They drive around with license plate readers and they look for people with Hispanic sounding last names, pull them over, and snatch them and take them away. Again, these aren't specific people that they're looking for and they just happen to come across them at the bus stop or at the Burger King. They are just grabbing people with Hispanic last names or who are Black, brown, and Asian and taking them away. Most of the people that they are taking are US citizens, lawful permanent residents, or people who have lawful status in this country of some sort, whether it's like a work permit or social security number, they're a refugee or asylee. Like, these are people who are documented and allowed to be in this country. They have broken no laws, including the laws around lawful entry into this country. Their only crime is being Black, brown, or Asian and near an ICE agent at any given random time. Just going about our daily lives, like in my community, I'll be driving and I will just see abandoned cars on highways and neighborhood streets. Sometimes the doors are still open and the car is still running. You will just come across this like at any random time in any random place. You could be in line at Burger King to get food and watch ICE like snatch a worker on the way into work. You can be at a restaurant and all of a sudden like 14 ICE agents come in and just kidnap every single worker who works in that restaurant. Like, this is just like right in front of your face. This can happen anywhere at any time. There is no place that we are assured in our community that we can go where we will not witness one of these violent kidnappings. Target, the grocery store, driving my daughter to swim lessons, driving to church, going to work. This, like, there is just no place that this isn't happening, and it is happening all the time, every single day, multiple times a day. You will get texts from, your coworkers or friends or like family members about someone that they know or they're related to or they work with that was taken. And this happens to every single person, or you'll just overhear it in random conversation. ICE sets up checkpoints in certain neighborhoods and looks at every single person's papers as they leave or enter the neighborhood. And I really want to note here that most people cannot prove their citizenship status at a moment's notice. A majority of Minnesotans do not have passports. A majority of people do not carry around the birth certificates. Lots of people don't even know where their birth certificates are. Being able to prove your immigration status or your like citizenship status on the way to work is something most people do not have the ability to do at the drop of a hat. ICE also goes door to door in neighborhoods, so they'll just like knock on doors or in apartments, hoping that a Black, brown, or Asian person will open the door, and then they'll just take that person. Schools have had to close because ICE shows up and pepper sprays parents and kids, or they like circle the block or target bus stops or target kids who are walking to school. Right now, there are districts that are calling families and saying your kids should learn at home and do online school instead of coming to school because ICE has targeted schools and learning communities for their kidnappings. There are kids who come home to empty houses and are there for hours at a time without a guardian or an adult there because their parents have been stolen at some point during the workday. When these kidnappings happen in front of other observers, these parents that are being kidnapped will yell out their full name and the school that their children go to in hopes that somebody will call that school and alert the administration so that their kid doesn't go home to find no one. They circle Spanish immersion daycares, and now there's parents who have to like sit in the parking lots to watch over their kids and the teachers who work at that school. I hope I'm really conveying this, but like ICE is ubiquitous. They are everywhere. I see them 1, 3, 7 times a day in my own community just going about my daily life. There are more federal agents in Minnesota than there are local law enforcement from the 10 largest police forces combined. Here's how Minnesotans have come together to respond. Regular people who have never been to a protest, people who have never participated in an economic strike, or people who are like rare voters have been activated in ways that are incredible. Grandparents carry whistles around in their cars because if they're going about their daily life and they see ICE, they can blow their whistles and warn the surrounding communities. Parents patrol bus stops and like form safety circles around schools to make sure that there's safe entry and exit and that they can get home safe. There's been a massive food donation and delivery infrastructure stood up, and we have organized rides to school and to work for people. There are people literally taking families into their homes. Like, people are fleeing their homes and then living with acquaintances or strangers for safety. So many kids are not going to school right now. Businesses are closing either because their workers all got taken, or they're too scared to come to work, or their customer base is completely gone. They won't go outside of their house. 6-month-old babies have been tear gassed because their parents were driving in their own neighborhood. There may be people outside of Minnesota who are thinking, when this comes to my state, I'm white, or I'm a US citizen, or I live in a suburb or a rural area or a neighborhood with few or no immigrants, and like this is something I won't experience or I won't see. I'm here to dispel that myth for you. That is not the case. The ubiquitousness, the violent force and presence that ICE and DHS is in our communities is completely unavoidable, and none of the things I just mentioned will protect you from this federal invasion of a paramilitary. There are absolutely things I'm not saying or things I'm forgetting. I'm sharing this from my personal experience, and the experiences are different from across the state. But it is coming to other states. Minnesota is the test case. This is not like a place where they were like, oh, just JK. This will come to other states. Organize your communities now. Get with your people now. And also support Minnesota and help us stop this before it spreads. Standwithminnesota.com is a place to go if you want to support organizations in Minnesota who are helping do this work. But I just need people to know this is not a Minneapolis thing. And the idea that like this is just a thing that's happening like in a few neighborhoods, like a few times a week, or just like, occasionally. No, it is everywhere, every single day. And there is literally nowhere you can go where you can be assured that you will not witness some sort of violent kidnapping or detainment, or you will not yourself be involved in it, even if you're just going about your daily life and have no intention of engaging at all in any observing or documenting or anything at all. This just runs up on you. They roll up on you in your community. It is so dangerous. It is so omnipresent. And I want people to be prepared and wait for Black, brown, or Asian people to be out walking their dog, going into the gas.
I need y'all to go ahead and watch that full video. Watch that full video, push all the buttons. And there's a reason why. That is a Minnesota state senator letting us know, who doesn't live in Minneapolis, mind you, letting us know what it's like to be in Minnesota right now. He calls it a paramilitary invasion. He describes horrific situations, including people getting kidnapped at bus stops, taking their kids to school, out walking their dogs, taking the trash out. Just to be clear, it's nothing like what the administration is calling it. Of course, as we know, because they will lie to our face and have lied to our faces, that they are literally just snatching up people that just happen to be non-white. People who, like most people, aren't walking around with their birth certificates. People who were taking out the trash so they didn't think to grab their ID. People who were just walking their kids to the bus stop and didn't think to grab their paperwork to prove their citizenship. This is the America that you live in right now, where parents, community members, people just living their everyday lives who have never committed a crime are literally targeted for their identity. And it's not going to stop at Minnesota. Now, we the people have to decide what kind of America we want to live in. Do we want to be stopped and questioned every time we enter or leave our own targeted neighborhoods? Do we want a paramilitary group that's snatching up our community members and neighbors, people who we work with, people who we see at the gas station or the market? As she warns in her video, this is the time for us in other states to start gathering around community, gathering resources and making plans, because this won't stop with Minnesota. We can certainly take what we learn and protect our neighborhood.
This video is for white folks who keep saying, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't get it. I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense. Stick around with me for 1 second. Our society here in the United States functions on 4 different pillars. My markers are the 4 pillars. Capitalism, colonialism, white supremacy, and the patriarchy. These pillars can also be thought of as systems of oppression. They benefit some people, they oppress many people, and I would argue that we all suffer because of them. Capitalism is an economic system in which industry and trade are privately owned, which means everything becomes for profit. Colonialism or imperialism is when you gain political control over another country. Usually you just invade it and occupy it, and then you can exploit the country, its resources, and its people for your financial gain. White supremacy is a belief system. It's a belief that people with white skin are superior. You will hear conversations on this app of people beginning to call it white narcissism, which is probably more accurate, but essentially means we should be in control because we are a superior race. And the patriarchy is a male-dominated society where lineage is traced down through the male line and men are in control. So why are these systems harmful? Capitalism is harmful because people are accruing wealth on the backs of other people. People at the top who own the corporation or own whatever is accruing the wealth get the money, while the laborers who are actually producing the products are left without. Colonialism often results in violence against the people who live on the land, exploitation of the earth's resources, so ecological disasters, right? Not to mention loss of traditions and practices, and it also contributes and ties over into its brother right here, which is white supremacy. when I talk about white supremacy, I feel like people get caught up on the white part. Like, you just keep making this about race. It's already happened. This is a system that exists. It's not saying white people are better. It's saying the system was created because people in the past were like, white people are better. So even if you don't believe it now, it exists. It's like you're living in it. Okay, so this is just a system set up for the benefit of people with white skin. It doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong and you're bad. It means this system exists and you live under it. So if you have white skin, you benefit from the system that's in place with white supremacy. And if you don't have white skin, you can be oppressed by this system and are oppressed by this system. And similarly with the patriarchy, it's essentially saying men are in control, the lineage is passed through men are the decision makers, men are the leaders, and then women or other people who are non-binary are oppressed by this system. All of the problems in society you can trace back to one of these pillars. Why can't you afford your groceries? Capitalism. Why are your neighbors who are brown being ripped off the street, kidnapped, and held in detention facilities? Colonialism and white supremacy. Why do women get paid significantly less than men? The patriarchy. I know I'm talking fast, and I know these are very few examples, and this is like crash course, Reader's Digest, like barely scratching the surface. But maybe this helps you understand when I am talking about things like white supremacy, and you are like, those words are really upsetting because I don't wear a white robe with a pointy hat and burn a cross. It's a system. It's a system. And we need to work to dismantle these systems of oppression. I've said this before, even the ones that benefit you. I benefit from white supremacy. I benefit from this idea that white people are better. I don't believe it. I don't like it. I don't believe it, but it benefits me. I know if I get pulled over for a traffic violation that I'm not going to get shot. I've never, ever had someone follow me around in a store thinking I was shoplifting. I've never struggled to get an interview for a job or a loan. You get the picture. The work begins when you start to think about these systems of oppression as a larger working by the powers that be, that have created them, that you were born into. You didn't do it, you were born into it. If you ask a kid who didn't make a mess to clean up a mess, they're going to be like, I didn't even make that mess. That's no fair. I didn't make it. That's how you guys act when you say something like, we need to dismantle these systems of oppression. And you're like, I didn't make it. That's not my fault that it happened. It doesn't matter. None of us are free while any of us are still in chains.
I need you people to tell these people they should try another way. They should try another route. Yes, they should. Because when it happened to Ken Porter, nobody actually said anything. Everybody made it look like, oh, it is just for the black people. So black people should just go do their thing. But every other person is now waking up, even to the point of seeing some white women trying to divorce their husband. I think I'm going to do like a full video about that, just because they now notice that this is actually not only going to happen to black people, this can literally happen to any single person. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It is now they're coming into that realization point. But for years, decades, black Americans have been screaming. It has been happening to the black community. And the black community have been able to keep preaching it, shouting it loud. Then what do we do? What is the solution? It is now that we're not having lecturers. It is now that we're having tutors. It is now that we're having people that are illustrating and letting us know what the economy is about, letting us know what is happening in Minneapolis, letting us know what is happening to every single person in Minnesota, letting us know what is happening in different parts of the state. It is now that everybody is serious and everybody wants to stand. Everybody now wants to pick phone and record, do videos. I remember even when I have not even started going deeply into black American stuff, right? Into American stuff generally. I remember most of the times when I come to my FYP, the people I see crying regularly are blacks. And at that point, I keep wondering, why are these people always crying? Why is it that the white folks are not speaking out? They're not saying anything. But as this goes by, it is now getting from the point of words to what's another language to use afterwards? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Now everybody want to teach. Now people now want to. That is blasphemy. Honestly, I call that blasphemy. Referring another person's situation that has happened long time ago that nobody said anything about, like Ken Porter, long time ago, that only black people actually stood up, referring that situation to this Renee blah 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 now, it's quite hilarious. They are just looking for every single possible means to tell black people that, oh, you people should come out. Black Americans, you people can also get deported. Black Americans, you people can also get this ICE brutality. Oh, you people, anybody can be pew-pewed anytime. We know that already. Tell that to the next child close to you that don't know about that. And if they're talking about people looking for solutions right now, it will be you guys, because you guys voted for what you are seeing. If what they call that thing, I've forgotten what they call it. If authority or anything can be given to ICE to perform, to do whatever they want to do, so who are black Americans to actually come out this time around? Your vice president said it. Not only him, a lot of them. The people that feel like they have the whole world with them, they have the universe. In fact, their life is just in their own hands, not in the hands of anybody. The people that feel like they can't be people or anything, those are people you should be educating, telling them gradually. You know, it is recently we started seeing rampant content about when white folks are coming out to speak because it is affecting their community. But black people have literally made that decision, and a lot of them, in fact, out of 100, let me say 99.5 have said we are not coming out, right? Let anything that want to happen, let it happen, but we are not coming out. We are not coming out to protest. We are not coming out to say anything. We are not coming out to stand out for anybody, because when it's our turn, nobody is standing out for them, and I honorably respect that. Honestly, I'm not saying that if black people decide to change their mind tomorrow, that I'm going to tell them, oh, do not go there. Why are you changing your mind? Who am I? I'm not saying that. But I respect that fact that they said that they are literally not coming out. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share. Thank you so much for staying stick and hook me to the end of this video. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to say bye. I'll see you guys in my next one. And I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, joining my membership, dropping super thanks. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And guys, with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.